Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, so we will continue from where we left. It is sloka number 42 of the fifth chapter of third canto. Yachadda- Yachadhaya Shruta Vataya च भक्त्या संरज्यमाने हृदये वधाय ज्ञानेन वैराग्यबलेन धीरा व्रजेम तत्तेङ्घ्रि सरोजपीठम्. Simply by hearing about your lotus feet with eagerness and devotion, and by meditating upon them within the heart, one at once becomes enlightened with knowledge, and on the strength of detachment, one becomes pacified. We must therefore take shelter of the sanctuary of your lotus feet. So the context is the prayers of the various demigods who are in charge of different departments of the material energy, and so they are all offering prayers to the Lord so that they will get the blessings and they will be able to discharge their duties in this material world. So, and this is very wonderful prayers where they are like talking about the lotus feet of the Lord and how amazing the lotus feet of the Lord are. So that's the whole context that is going on. And here we are seeing this very wonderful prayer simply by hearing about your lotus feet with eagerness and devotion. No, we should have the lotus feet of the Lord. Actually, that is the starting point of one's meditation. No, it is mentioned we should not just directly go to the face of the Lord or other parts of the Lord for taking darshan. So while taking darshan, we should start taking darshan of the Lord from the lotus feet of the Lord, and then slowly move on to the ankles, and then the thighs, then the belly, then the chest, and then the face of the Lord. And it is mentioned that one should try to meditate upon. So this is also a meditation. Taking darshan of the Lord is also a meditation. So one should learn to take darshan of the Lord by meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. And once he becomes completely fixed in the lotus feet of the Lord, in the meditation on the lotus feet of the Lord, then a person can gradually progress to the upward, towards the lotus face of the Lord. Right? So one should hear about the lotus feet of the Lord with eagerness and devotion. That's a very important quality. And by meditating upon them within the heart, one at once become enlightened with knowledge. So in the last yesterday we were discussing how the lotus feet of the Lord is full of knowledge. And then we also Prabhupada also was citing this sloka Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayati asu vairagyam jnanam cha yadahetukam. Right? So just by performing bhakti yoga or meditating upon the lotus feet of the Lord, so one can get all knowledge, and he can be freed from all miseries of the life. So how easy the bhakti yoga process is. Even if you just simply sit in front of the Lord and then just meditate upon the lotus feet of the Lord, you'll develop knowledge within, and you'll all your miseries will go to will be like finished. It's so simple and easy. right? So anybody can do this thing. Just, what qualification do we need to just to gaze upon the lotus feet of the Lord and to meditate upon them, right? So that's so easy, the Bhakti Yoga processes. Okay. We must therefore take shelter of the sanctuary of your lotus feet. Purport: the miracles of meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord with eagerness and devotion are so great that no other process can compare to it. The minds of materialistic persons are so disturbed that it is almost impossible for them to search after the supreme truth by personal regulative endeavors. But even such materialistic men, with a little eagerness for hearing about the transcendental name, fame, qualities, etc., can surpass all other methods of attaining knowledge and detachment. The conditioned soul is attached to the bodily conception of the self and therefore is in ignorance. Culture of self knowledge can bring about detachment from material affection, and without such detachment, there is no meaning to knowledge. So here we see that knowledge means we become detached from the material affections. So we often had discussed this sloka, which is a very important sloka. Like devotees can try to memorize them also, memorize this sloka also. It says that Bhaktir Pareshanubhava Viraktir Anyatra Chaisa Trika Eka Kalaha Prapadyamanasya Yatashnatashus Tushti Pushti Sudapayo Nugasha. So in this sloka, this bhakti, paresha anubhava, and virakti, devotion to the Lord, direct experience of the Lord, and the detachment from worldly affections, right? So these three things, what it is mentioned is trika eka kalaha. All these three simultaneously progresses. Nobody can say I'm quite knowledgeable, but then I'm affected by material things. No, that's not possible. If we are affected by material things, then we are in ignorance, right? So that's the direct, uh, what is that? Observation, from the phenomena, that we are going through. So if we are improving in knowledge, then our material affections will come down. No, otherwise we are just in ignorance. No, we are no, we are affected by material things too much, then we are in ignorance. So if we are advancing in knowledge, then naturally detachment will come. So detachment will come in the form of no like the sense gratification. We will be okay with basic needs of gratifying our senses, so we will not look for extravagance and things like that. And then we will be satisfied with the basic levels of respect or no respect and things like that. We will not be disturbed by those things. And whether labha alabha, no jaya ajaya, so all these things, whether we get a profit or loss, whether we get a victory or defeat, we will not be disturbed. No, that's what is the meaning of detachment. So this will automatically come if we are advancing in Krishna consciousness. Then we are Krishna consciousness, even a basic activity of Krishna consciousness, as meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, or meditating on the holy names of the Lord, or even meditating on the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So when we do these things very diligently, then naturally detachment will have to come from the, will have to arise within the heart. Knowledge has to come in. So, but if we are not meditating on these things, for example, if we are chanting the names of the Lord, but the mind is everywhere, and then we are trying to study the Bhagavatam, but we are not trying to get the actual point of like surrendering to Krishna, or thinking about him and things like that. Or if we are doing any devotional service, basically, okay, if we are eating prasad, so, and when we are eating, generally we call it as honoring prasad. So when we are honoring prasad, so we are thinking and analyzing the taste of the prasad and things like that. So then also, like, we are not connecting to Krishna. So we should try to see the actual process or actual medicine that is there in the all the processes that we are doing is Krishna consciousness. How much we are conscious of Krishna in that particular activity. So more we are conscious of Krishna in that particular activity, more we will be benefited, more we will get this kind of knowledge, and more we will get detachment. So these things is possible. So this is the parameter to understand whether we are progressing in Krishna consciousness or not. So more our knowledge and detachment should increase, right? Okay. So The conditioned soul is attached to the bodily conception of self and therefore is in ignorance. Culture of self knowledge can bring about detachment from material affection, and without such detachment, there is no meaning to knowledge. The most stubborn attachment for material enjoyment is sex life. One who is attached to sex life is to be understood as devoid of knowledge. Knowledge must be followed by detachment. This is the way of self-realization. These two essentials for self-realization, that is knowledge and detachment, become manifest very quickly if one performs devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord. The word dhira is very significant in this connection. A person who is not disturbed even in the presence of cause of disturbance is called dhira. Sri Yamunacharya says, since my heart uh, has been overwhelmed by the devotional service of Lord Krishna, I cannot even think of sex life. And if thoughts of sex comes upon me, I at once feel disgust. A devotee of the Lord becomes an elevated dhira by the simple process of meditating in eagerness on the lotus feet of the Lord. Right, so this is the position of a devotee of the Lord. So he becomes dhira. Dhira means naturally that knowledge and detachment has arisen in his heart. So that is how a person becomes dhira. And such person, their thought process, no their thought process, if they think about something, no, that is something worthwhile and useful. So if somebody is disturbed already, and then we are making so many plans and things like that, it is just simply we are taking association of material modes of nature. So we should not spend more time with our mind. So our mind is fully contaminated by three modes of nature. There is no point in spending time with our mind and thinking like this, what will happen if it happened like this, then what will happen if it happened like that, what will happen, and no, if it happens like this, I will do like this. No, these kind of thought process, most of the time we waste our time in these kind of thought process. And if we can take our time out and then focus on Krishna, we can also become dhira. Sometimes people actually become afraid. Oh, if I lose all the material attachments and I get detached, then what will happen? How will I function in this world? So my general question would be, how many people are attached to their work? No, they go, they do their work, take salary and come. So they're not attached to their work. So like still it is happening. In detachment we can do much better things than in attachment. So it's a very, very great misconception. Only if I'm attached, I will be able to do something. No, no. In detachment, I can do much better things. In detachment, no, a devotee of the Lord. There are so many exalted devotees of the Lord who were grahasthas, who also like begot children and things like that. But they were not attached to the sex life. No, they were very, very sober, and how much ever is needed, they could able to control and use that. So, but if it is not controlled, if it is not, if a person is not dhira, then there is no control, no of it. Just like a drunkard, he is like, he doesn't have any control of drinking. No, that's not a situation that we want to be in. And like drinking is outrightly wrong. So many people know that. But sometimes we like have a little light, this one in eating habits. So we tend to overeat every time. So that's again, it's not a dhira. So because eating normal food is not considered so bad, so nobody talks about it. So but then the scriptures will talk about it. Every sense, be it eating, be it seeing, be it hearing, whatever it is, we should not. Some people like, they have the problem of hearing, so they cannot live without hearing some nonsensical things. So they keep on hearing some nonsensical things, or movie songs, or here and there and things like that. So but actually, what is the use of it? Actually, is it going to help me in any way in my life? No, it's only going to help me in putting me in touch with the three modes of nature, right? So if we can hear about the Lord, if we can chant the names of the Lord, if we can take darshan of the Lord, especially meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord. Lotus feet of the Lord establishes sambandha. The sambandha gyan is considered to be the lotus feet of the Lord. And by meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, one can get rid of all the useless and unwanted habits, what a person may have. It's all so powerful, it is. But only thing is, we just need to put that focus on the meditation of the Lord. No, if we like chanting the names of the Lord, it's good. No, try to put focus over there. Or if we just like to take darshan of the Lord, it's good. No, let's try to put our focus over there. If we like to hear the messages of Krishna consciousness, it's good. Let's try to put our focus over there. The most important point is we have to be focused. If the focus is not there, then there is no, it's Ramaeva hi kevalam. No, Dharma svanushtita pumsa visvakshena katashuya na utpadayet na utpate ediratim Shramayeva hi kevalam. So if like rati or attraction towards the Lord is not coming, the discussions of the Lord is not arising in our heart, or thoughts about the Lord are not arising in my heart, so then all that I'm doing is just Shramayeva hi kevalam. No, it's just a simply a laborious task I am trying to do. Right? So gradually we should develop attachment to the Supreme Lord. So that's our goal. So we should try to do that. We should try to aim for that. Okay, devotional service entails being initiated by a bona fide spiritual master and following its instruction in regard to hearing about the Lord. So this is a primary instruction. We can see that Prabhupada very nicely puts it here. Now, we have to be initiated by a bona fide spiritual master. And then what's the instruction of spiritual master? To chant the holy names of the Lord. And when we do that, we are expected to hear. And then also we are expected to hear from Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the process of initiation. No, like if we are like formally, like no, if we are getting initiated, but then we are not applying ourselves to the process of hearing properly, then nothing is going to work. No, even after doing devotional service, no, we may have to be like we may have to go through all the material problems, like like so many material problems are there, stress and tension and depression and things like that and all. So all these things will keep coming. So the solution for all these things is attentive hearing. If we can do attentive hearing, we can win over all the material problems. No, the core solution. Sometimes people say, no, we are doing Krishna consciousness, but still the material problems are not no ceasing off. So material problems are not going to be ceased. Material problems are going to be there because it is Dukkalayam. And no, this place is not going to get any better. This has been like this for ages and ages, and since the dawn of creation, it will continue to exist like this. We have to become no, like by applying, by hearing the message of Krishna consciousness properly, and by hearing the chanting of the names of the Lord properly, we will become so strong within that we will be able to handle all the problems, we will be able to go through all the problems, and we will get the clarity of how to get back to the spiritual world. Right? So it's a very, very important point. Last few days I was repeating this point to few of the devotees. It's a very essential point to understand that Krishna consciousness is not going to put off our problem. Krishna consciousness is going to give us strength to face the problem, right? So, and if we want to analyze the problems of this world, it is endless. We can keep analyzing the problems of this world. We will never come to an end, and we will always be depressed. No, okay. So such a bona fide spiritual master is accepted by regularly hearing from him about the Lord. The improvement in knowledge and detachment can be perceived by devotee as an actual experience. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu strongly recommended this process of hearing from a bona fide devotee, and by following this process, one can achieve the highest result, conquering all other methods. Okay, so sthane shtita shruti gatham thanuvan manobir ye prayaso ajita jita no apitais trilokyam. So just by doing this process, just by staying in wherever we are, and then hearing this message of Krishna consciousness is so very powerful. No, it can no, we can win over everything. We can win over the senses. We can win over all the other processes of like transcendentalism, like jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, and things like that. No, what to speak of winning over all these things? We can win over even the Supreme Lord, Ajita Jita. No, so that is the capacity of this process of hearing. So no, let's not exchange something. Exchange this process of hearing for something cheap, right? So let's not give up the process of hearing. That's one. And let's not exchange this process of hearing for something cheap. That's like no, giving a crore of rupees and taking one lollipop, right? So we should not do that. So we are investing on a very, very high value, no, what is that, high returns kind of an investment. So that's this process of hearing. Every moment I give attentive hearing, I pay attention to the hearing. So I am advancing a lot. No, so much of dirt in the heart is getting cleansed off. So, no, we should be really, really very grateful to the Lord that we are able to get an opportunity to hear, about Him from Srimad Bhagavatam. So, it is going to cleanse our heart, thoroughly, right? So, we should hold on to this process of hearing. Text 43. Vishvasya janmasthiti samyamarthe kritva कृतावतारस्य पदाम्बुजं ते व्रजेम सर्वे शरणं यदीशा स्मृतं प्रपच्छत्यभयं स्वपुंसाम्. O Lord, you assume incarnations for the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation, and therefore we all take shelter of your lotus feet because they always award remembrance and courage to your devotees. See, another aspect of the lotus feet of the Lord is mentioned here. So they always award remembrance, and then they award courage to the to the devotees. If we can meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord, we will get all courage to face anything and everything in this world, right? So it's very nice point. Okay, purport. For the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of cosmic manifestation, there are three incarnations: Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara, that is Lord Shiva. So, these three are considered to be like the this one. So these three are considered to be like the guna avatars. No, they are also called as incarnations. They are called as guna avatars, right? So Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. So they are the controllers or masters of the three modes of material nature, which cause the phenomenal manifestation. Vishnu is the master of mode of goodness, Brahma is the master of mode of passion, and Maheshwara is the master of mode of ignorance. There are different kinds of devotees according to the modes of nature. Persons in the mode of goodness worship Lord Vishnu, persons in the mode of passion worship Lord Brahma, and those in mode of ignorance worship Lord Shiva. All these are all three of these deities are incarnations of the Supreme Lord Krishna, because he is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I think we had a good discussion in the past about the incarnation or avatar. So whenever we call it as avatar, so it's not necessarily that Krishna or Vishnu is present. No, we had discussed about Sakyavesh avatar, and we had also discussed about the Guna avatar. No, here we are talking about Guna avatar. So various capacities of the Lord, if it is invested upon a living entity, no, then he is also called as avatar. Like Brahma, he is a living entity, but why is he called as avatar? Because the creative potency of the Lord is invested upon him. So when he does the creation, it's as good as Lord personally doing the creation, right? So that's how the potency is invested upon him. And Lord Shiva is anyway Ishvara. No, anyway he is controller. He is not a Jiva, but then he is not Vishnu also, right? So he's a tattva in between, Vishnu and Jiva. So, but then he is also an incarnation of the Lord. So he is an incarnation of the Lord in terms of Shiram yata dati vikara vishesha yogat sanjayate nahitata pratahasti heto yet shambhutam apitata samupaiti karyat govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Right? So it's like he is like a transformed incarnation. That is, milk transforms to curd. So milk can transform into curd, and it's only milk can transform into curd. No other entity can transform into curd, right? So milk can transform into curd, but then curd can never act like milk. Milk, if it wants, it can transform into curd, but then curd can never transform into milk again, right? So that's the position of Lord Shiva. So Vishnu, if he wants, he can act as Lord Shiva, but then Lord Shiva cannot, get back to Vishnu form. So that's the kind of a transformation that is mentioned. Shiram means milk, yata dadi. Just like the milk is getting into dadi, or the this one curd. No, shiram yata dadi vikara. No, just by transformation. Vikara means transformation. Shiram yata dadi vikara. Vishesha yogat sanjayate nahitata pratahasti heto yet shambhutam. So Shambhu is formed in this way by the transformation of Lord Vishnu. So in this way, like these are all various incarnations. It's quite technical to understand them, but then we can understand that incarnation of Vishnu means it is not necessarily Vishnu himself. It may be one of his capacities, one of his energies or powers invested upon a living entity, or a transformed incarnation like Lord Shiva also. So in these ways, no like Lord can actually expand and incarnate, right? So all of them are incarnations of the Lord. All three deities are incarnations of Supreme Lord Krishna, because he is the original supreme personality of Godhead. The demigods directly refer to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord and not to the different incarnations. The incarnations of Vishnu in the material world is, however, directly worshipped by the demigods. So Vishnu is called as Swa Amsha. So then they can be directly worshipped, but then not Brahma and Shiva. No, they are not to be directly worshipped. They are to be worshipped, means they are to be like what is it? Taken as a via medium, or no, Vishnu should be directly worshipped. Vishnu worship is what is mentioned as the no proper worship. No, Vishnu bhakta bhavet daiva asuram tad viparyaya. So one who is worshipper of Vishnu is daiva, or the devotees of the Lord, or no, here the demigods. And asurim tad viparyaya. No, rest everybody is considered to be asura, right? Okay. It is learned from various scriptures that the demigods approach Lord Vishnu in the ocean of milk and submit their grievances whenever there is some difficulty in the administration of universal affairs. Although they are incarnations of the Lord, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva worship Lord Vishnu, and thus they are also counted amongst the demigods and not as the supreme personality of Godhead. Persons who worship Lord Vishnu are called demigods, and persons who do not are called asuras. Not the same thing what I was mentioning. Vishnu Bhakta Bhavet Daiva Asurim Tad Viparyaya. Right? Okay. Vishnu always takes the part of the demigods, but Brahma and Shiva sometimes take the side of demons. It is not that they become one in interest with them, but sometimes they do something in order to gain control over the demons. Right? So, because they have the job description of controlling the demons and ruling over them and things like that. So, sometimes they have to like give way for the interest of the demons, no, just so that like no, they will gain control over them. So that's the thing, but they are not demons in themselves. They are demigods. They are devotees of the Lord, but then no, they may have to take sometimes the side of the demons. But Vishnu always takes the sides of the devotees of the Lord or demigods. Okay, text 44. यत्सानुबन्धे सति देहगेहे ममाहमित्यूढ दुराग्रहाणां पुंसां सुदूरं वसतोऽपि पुर्यां भजेम तत्ते भगवन् पदाब्जम्. O Lord, persons who are entangled by the undesirable eagerness for the temporary body and kinsmen, and who are bound by the thoughts of mine and I, are unable to see your lotus feet, although your lotus feet are situated within their own bodies. But let us take shelter of your lotus feet. So one who has got too much of attachment for the temporary relationships of this world and things like that, so they will never be able to see the lotus feet of the Lord, right? And here the demigod says are saying that no, let them be like that, but we want to take shelter of your lotus feet, right? So they are very eager to take shelter of the lotus feet. Okay, purport. The whole Vedic philosophy of life is that one should get rid of material encagement of gross and subtle bodies. Cage means like a prison cage. So encagement means this material body, both the gross body and subtle body are like a prison house. It is just catching the soul within, and then it is putting all these emotional dramas around the people around us and things like that. So but actually we are just put in this jail of material body, right? So which only causes one to continue in a condemned life of miseries. This material bodies is the cause of miseries. So it is just simply keep on giving miseries. This body is the source of all miseries, right? So this material body continues as long as one is not detached from the false conception of lording it over material nature. The impetus for lording it over material nature is the sense of mine and I. I am the Lord of all that I survey. So many things I possess, and I shall possess more and more. Who can be richer than I in wealth and education? I am the master and I am the God. Who else is there but me? All these ideas reflect the philosophy of Aham Mama, the conception of I am everything. The persons conducted by such a conception of life can never get liberation from material bondage. But even a person perpetually condemned to the miseries of material existence can get relief from the bondage if he simply agrees to hear only Krishna Katha. In this age of Kali, the process of hearing Krishna Katha is the most effective means to gain release from unwanted family affection and thus find permanent freedom in life. The age of Kali is full of sinful reactions, and people are more and more addicted to the qualities of this age. But simply by hearing and chanting of Krishna Katha, one is sure to go back to Godhead. Therefore, people should be trained to hear only Krishna Katha by all means in order to get relief from all miseries. Right? So we should only be interested in hearing this Krishna Katha. Right? So that is when we will be able to get released from the material miseries. Very, very powerful purports. No? So here it's the focus is given on no full time of our day. No, we should somehow or other focus on Krishna. So we should try to get up remembering Krishna. We should try to do our daily activities remembering Krishna. We should try to chant remembering Krishna, and we should try to do any other work that is there remembering Krishna. And we should try to hear and read about Krishna. And in this way, if we can be Krishna conscious throughout the day, then no material miseries no can actually touch us, right? So material miseries are completely gone off, right? And Prabhupada often gives this example of an iron rod kept on fire. So if the iron rod is kept on fire, it will acquire the properties of fire, right? So that's the capacity of the iron rod. So if and that's capacity of fire. So in the same way, if we can keep ourselves in Krishna consciousness, then we will get the qualities of the divine qualities will manifest in us, and all these no temporary mundane qualities will go off. And when these divine qualities will manifest, automatically we will be free from all miseries. So the key is to keep the iron rod in fire constantly. Now, if we keep the iron rod in the fire and take it out, and then keep the iron rod in fire and then take it out, so then it will never become red hot. No, so that's what most of the times it happens. So sometimes like we are supposed to keep it on the fire, but then we are just hanging the rod on somewhere in the top of the fire is not able to touch. No, that's that's like chanting without any focus, or hearing Krishna Katha without any focus. Focus means bringing the rod as close as possible to the fire, or keeping it directly within the fire. That's focus. And if we don't focus, so then it's just like keeping it's like what is that, you switch on your stove and then put your cooking pot some 2-3 feet above the stove. No, nothing is going to happen. So that's what happens like when we do things without focus. But if we can focus on Krishna, then the advancement is guaranteed. We are going to make so much of advancement. Very rapid advancement is going to happen, right? Okay, text 45. Hmm. तन्वैहि असद् वृत्तिभिर् अक्षिभिर्ये पराहृतान्तर मनसः परेश अतो न पश्यन्ति उरुगायनूनम् एते पदन् पदन्यास विलास लक्ष्याः. O great Supreme Lord, offensive persons whose internal vision has been too affected by external materialistic activities, cannot see your lotus feet, but they are seen by your pure devotees, whose one and only aim is to transcendently enjoy your activities. Right? So either the offensive persons whose internal vision has been too affected by external materialistic activities. So if we are offensive towards the Vaishnavas or towards the Supreme Lord, so what is a sign of what will be the reaction to it? The reaction will be we will become too much attached to materialistic things. No, that is the result of offense towards a devotee or towards the Lord. So if we become offensive, then no so much of material desires will come in the heart, right? Okay, let's see the purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 1861, the Lord is situated in everyone's heart. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridadesha arjuna tishtati. It is natural that one should be able to see the Lord at least within himself. But that is not possible for those whose internal vision has been covered by external activities. The pure soul, which is symptomized by consciousness, can be easily perceived even by a common man because consciousness is spread all over the body. The yoga system, as recommended in Bhagavad Gita, is to concentrate the mental activities internally and thus see the lotus feet of the Lord within oneself. But there are many so called yogis who have no concern with the Lord but are only concerned with consciousness, which they accept as final realization. Such realization of consciousness is taught by Bhagavad Gita within only a few minutes, whereas the so called yogis take continuous years to realize it because of their offense at the lotus feet of the Lord. Right? So here we see that somebody who's externally conscious, no, there is only one journey is possible, either external journey or internal journey. So if we are making internal journey, then we have to compromise on our external journey, external growth, external things in this world and things like that. So if we are too much attached to the external journey, then internal journey will get affected. No, we will not be able to focus on that. So even if a person who's focusing on the internal journey, just like many so-called yogis who are focusing on internal journey, but what's their goal? Their goal is not the lotus feet of the Lord. Their goal is just consciousness. Their goal is just that they want to get beyond matter and be there in the realm of consciousness, in the realm of soul. Even they are considered to be sinful because they are not able to see the lotus feet of the Lord. No, they are only able to perceive difference between matter and spirit, but they are not able to come to the point of seeing the lotus feet of the Lord. Even they are considered to be sinful. No, because of their offense, no, they like it is the greatest offense. Okay, so it is yeah, here it's mentioned the realization of this consciousness is taught in Bhagavad Gita in just only few minutes. No, Krishna doesn't take much time to teach this thing. No, so Dhyana Yoga, he just mentioned one chapter. That's all, and then also Jnana Yoga, like he just mentioned it a little briefly. That's all. So and then he spent good amount of time on the Bhakti Yoga, and then coming to the point of Bhakti Yoga and things like that. So in every single chapter there is emphasis on Bhakti Yoga, which is there in the Bhagavad Gita. So here we can see that that's most important and primary aspect, and it is not the what is that um, the just coming to the level of understanding we are soul and we are not the body. That's not sufficient. We have to get still further and try to find the lotus feet of the Lord and meditate upon them, right? Okay, the greatest offense is to deny the existence of the Lord as separate from the individual soul, or to accept the Lord and the individual soul as one and the same. Right? This is what is the Mayavad philosophy that's considered to be greatest offense. The impersonalists misinterpret the theory of reflection, and thus they wrongly accept the individual consciousness as the supreme consciousness. The theory of the reflection of the supreme can be clearly understood without difficulty by any sincere common man. When there is a reflection of the sky on the water, both sky and the stars are seen within the water, but it is understood that the sky and the stars are not to be accepted on the same level. So, what is this reflection that has been talked about? The Lord existing as Paramatma in the heart. So, there is a nice thing that is mentioned. So, if you have a moon, like moon is there on the sky, and if you have some 10 pots, 20 pots of water, you keep 20 pots of water. In every pot of water, you will see the reflection of the moon. No, that's one example that is given to understand the presence of Paramatma in everyone's heart. So the Lord is one entity, the Paramatma or Shirodakashai Vishnu is one entity. Simultaneously, he is reflected in the hearts of every single living entity, and he is one person. Right? So that's one very important understanding here. So now, when this concept comes, when the concept of Paramatma staying in the heart comes, and the living entity stay in the heart comes, Then immediately this Mayavad philosophers, they say, oh, like the soul that which stays in the heart is the Paramatma, the Jivatma and Paramatma is all same. So they just put it like that. So that's no horrible mistake, that it's considered to be a greatest offense, right? Okay, let's continue. The stars are part and parcel. Uh, okay, the stars are part and parcel of the sky, and therefore they cannot be equal to the whole. The sky is the whole, and the stars are parts. They can be one and the same. Transcendentalists who do not accept the supreme consciousness as separate from the individual consciousness are as offensive as the materialists who deny even the existence of the Lord. Right? So even the Mayavadis are considered on the level of atheists, or even more worse than that. Right? Such offenders cannot actually see the lotus feet of the Lord within themselves, nor are they even able to see the devotees of the Lord. Right? So, like in the pastime of Hiranyakashipu and Nrsingadev, we can actually see that when Lord comes as Varahadev and then kills Hiranyaksha, so then Hiranyakashipu becomes very angry. This Vishnu, he has killed my brother, I will find him and I'll kill him. He was going every single place in the entire creation, but he was not getting Vishnu. No, but Vishnu is there everywhere. He's called as Sarva Vyapi. No, he's there present in every single atom of the entire creation. But Hiranyakashipu was not able to see. No, why? Because he was completely filled with the lust, no, or completely filled with material desires and things like that. Even if he's not trying to see Vishnu, he is not going to see. So the very same thing which Hiranyakashipu asked to Prahlad, no, like who taught you this knowledge and how do you get to know about the Lord and things like that? Where is your Lord and things like that? So Prahlad says, Naisham matistava durukramangrim sparshasthanarto pagamo yad artha like mahi yasham padarajopishekham niskinchananam navrinitayavat. So he mentions that no, it is not possible for the people who are completely engrossed in materialistic thoughts. They will not be able to see the Lord. No, only if they take bath. No, mahi yasham padarajobhishekam. Only if they no smear the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees upon themselves, they may become purified, and with that purification, they may be able to no see the Lord. Otherwise, the Lord is there everywhere. No, like if you ask me the question, like where is the Lord? The Lord is there everywhere. Why I'm not able to see? It's because of my blindness of ignorance. No, that has to be cured by the practice of devotional service. Okay, so such offenders cannot actually see the lotus feet of the Lord within themselves, nor are they even able to see the devotees of the Lord. The devotees of the Lord are so kind that they roam to all places to enlighten people in God consciousness. The offenders, however, lose the chance to receive the Lord's devotees, although the offenseless common man is at once influenced by the devotee's presence. In this connection, there is an interesting story of a hunter and Devarishi Narada. A hunter in the forest, although a great sinner, was not an intentional offender. He was at once influenced by the presence of Narada, and he agreed to take the path of devotion, leaving aside his hearth and home. But the offender Nalakuver and Manigriv, even though living amongst the demigods, had to undergo the punishment of becoming trees in their next lives. Although by the grace of a devotee, they were later delivered by the Lord. Offenders have to wait until they receive the mercy of the devotees, and then they can become eligible to see the lotus feet of the Lord within themselves. But due to their offenses and their extreme materialism, they cannot even see the devotees of the Lord. So, this anyway, this topic has come. It's very nice. So tomorrow onwards, we are this auspicious month of Kartik is starting, and we will be singing Damodarashtakam every evening at 8:15, and it's going to be a real amazing month. So this Kartik month is very dear to Srimati Radharani, very dear to Lord Sri Krishna. Many wonderful pastimes happen in this month, and anybody who's eager to advance spiritually will definitely take advantage of this Kartik month. So, if we can offer one ghee lamp to the Lord every day, and if we can chant some extra rounds of Hare Krishna mantra, and then if we can do any extra devotional service, Like for example, this set of slokas that we are talking about, so we are repeatedly seeing how meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord is so very important. So we can just spend some time sitting in front of the Lord or Lord's pictures, and then meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, and then offering these prayers. We can just recite these translations of these set of slokas. It will be so very, very enriching an experience, right? So we can try to do that. And here, very nicely, this topic is touched upon, this Nala Kuver and Mani Grieve. So these two were sons of Kuvera, and they were completely intoxicated, and they were sporting and playing in some river, with women and things like that. And at the time, so Narad Muni happened to pass by in that place, and then they were not at all the uh, the other people who were there. They all covered themselves, and they all paid respects to the sage who were passing by. And then these Nalakuver and Manigriv, because they were sons of very, very rich person, so they were completely spoiled. And they were making fun, and they were like not at all giving any respect to the sadhu. So then they were cursed. They were cursed by Narad Muni to become trees. And then when they begged pardon, so they were given this one, that when Krishna will appear, that time he will come and release you from this tree body. And then in the further sessions, in the Sunday sessions, we are going to cover nice this one's like Sunday morning 8:15 our Sunday feast sessions. So I request all of you to attend in this Kartik month all of the Sunday morning 8:15 sessions. Very, very amazing aspects of this Kartik month is going to be discussed. And especially on the first Sunday, so that is the day after tomorrow, 1st of November. So we will discuss the whole of Damodar Ashtakam in detail. And then the next Sunday, we will discuss about the Damodar Leela, and then the Govardhan Leela and Damodar Leela, and like that. So different Leelas are scheduled on Sundays. So it will be very, very nice to hear, and it is very important to hear about these activities of the Lord, these pastimes of the Lord in this auspicious month. So let's do this vrata in a nice way, right? So I will also be sending some information and posting regarding that, so you can try to stay tuned to these things, so that we can take maximum advantage of this Kartik month, right? Okay, until unless a person gets the mercy of the devotees of the Lord, it is not going to be possible for them to purify themselves, and it is not going to be possible for them to see the lotus feet of the Lord, right? Okay. But due to their offense and their extreme materialism, they cannot see even the devotees of the Lord. Engaged in external activities, they kill the internal vision. The Lord's devotees, however, do not mind the offenses of the foolish in their many gross and subtle bodily endeavors. The Lord's devotees continue to bestow the blessings of devotion upon all such offenders without hesitation. That is the nature of devotees. So, here we see that the devotees of the Lord, you know, actually, when they go and meet the common people and they try to preach the message of Krishna consciousness, so without knowing, these common people, they keep offending the devotees of the Lord. But the devotees of the Lord, they don't take it so seriously, because no, if not for this, there is no other chance this materialistic person will ever get any transformation. So that's why the devotees of the Lord, they are merciful, and they know even though the people may offend them, so they don't take it very seriously, and they continue to shower their blessings. No, that's the nature of devotees. Titikshava karunika suhrada sarvadehinam ajata shatravasa shanta sadhava sadbhushana. Right? Okay. Okay, text 46. Okay, we will see one more sloka. पानेन ते देव कथा सुधाया प्रवृद्ध भक्त भक्त्या विशदाय विशदाशया ये वै वैराग्यसारं प्रतिलभ्य बोधं यताञ्जसानीयुर् अकुण्ठदिष्ण्यम्. O Lord, persons who, because of their serious attitude, attain the stage of enlightened devotional service, achieve the complete meaning of renunciation and knowledge, and attain the Vaikuntha Loka in the spiritual sky simply by drinking the nectar of your topics. Right? So this is the power of hearing. No, all of us are trying to hear every day this message of Krishna consciousness, and this is the way to enter into the Vaikuntha Loka. Right? Okay, so the difference between the impersonalist mental speculators and the pure devotees of the Lord is that the former pass through a miserable understanding of the absolute truth at every stage, whereas the devotees enter into the kingdom of all pleasure even from the beginning of their attempt. Right? So impersonalists, mental speculators, and the pure devotees of the Lord. So it is mentioned clearly in Bhagavad Gita, avyakta hi gatir dukkam dehavapyate. So this impersonal mental speculators, no, their gati is dukkam, no, their ultimate destination is dukkam. But then the pure devotees of the Lord, their source, their beginning. Now, how do they begin? So they begin the process of Krishna consciousness by tasting prasad, by hearing some nice Krishna katha, or they chanting the names of the Lord. So from the beginning, it is very nice, and the ultimate destination is they enter into Vaikuntha. Kunta means misery. Vaikuntha means a place where there is no misery, right? So they enter into a very, very pleasurable place, right? So kingdom of all pleasure. So that's the no destination. That's the gati of a devotee, right? Okay. So the devotee has only to hear about the devotional activities, which are as simple as anything in ordinary life, and he also acts very simply, whereas the mental speculators has to pass through a jugglery of words, because the scriptures are talking about devotion, and if they have to come about the aspect of impersonalism in the scriptures, then they have to juggle with the words. No, they have to do jugglery of words, which are partial facts and a partially a make show for the maintenance of an artificial impersonal status. In spite of his strenuous efforts to attain perfect knowledge, the impersonalists attain merging into the impersonal oneness of Brahmajyoti of Lord, which is also attained by the enemies of the Lord simply because of their being killed by him. So all the demons, most of the demons who are killed by Krishna, no, they attain this Brahmajyoti, and this impersonalist, they also attain the Brahmajyoti after so much of struggle and things like that. So no, what's the point? So after so much of struggle, you are attaining a destination which a demon is attaining. So then what's the point? So a devotee of the Lord, he enters into the Vaikuntha Loka. No, he royally enters into the Vaikuntha Loka. Okay. So the devotees, however, attain the highest stage of knowledge and renunciation and achieve the Vaikuntha Lokas, the planets in the spiritual sky. The impersonalist attain only the sky and does not achieve any tangible transcendental bliss, whereas the devotees attain to the planets where real spiritual life prevails. With a serious attitude, the devotee throws away all achievements like so much dust, and he accepts only devotional service, the transcendental culmination. Right? So, this is one very important aspect. If we have to progress spiritually, then we have to throw away all the material, the no designations or achievements and things like that, just like a dust. So that's a very important thing. More we are giving value for material things, more we will be slackened in the spiritual growth. So material things, yeah, the material things are needed for surviving in this world. Let's just keep it at that place, and let's not be too much attached. What's the point of being too much attached? No, we will die at any moment, and we cannot take even one penny that we have no God, and we will not be able to take our designations and achievements and things like that with us. So all the material achievements are temporary, and we have to part ways with it at some point in time. But the spiritual achievements, like purification of heart, even if I don't complete, no, if I take next birth, I will have the same level of purification of heart, and I can continue from there. No, I can attract the mercy of the Lord. I can become, no, the real things, the real qualities are those which cannot be separated from me. No, we should work for those permanent qualities, and we should not waste our time simply for materialistic things, which will anyway be taken away from us, right? So now here I stop, and thing in this. Wait, Damodar Ashtakam, yeah, I will post the lyrics for Damodar Ashtakam, and okay, I'll also give a link for contributing to the festival. Thank you very much for your kind gesture. Okay, yeah, you can ask a question. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The shloka 44 and till 46 is also the prayers by the demigods, or is it something separate? The
It's
qualifications
continuous.
which you were taking.
No, till
It's
the
all
time
continuous.
till the time the speaker changes. So like we will see that Maitreya Uvacha or Deva Uchuhu and things like that. So till the time the context doesn't shift like that, it is the same context that is going on.
Okay, in future also, like wherever such things happen, that till the speaker doesn't change, it is in the same speaker is talking.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
This text 5 means canto, which canto Prabhuji?
This is third canto.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It's third. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So thank you all very much for joining. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.